heaven is a loaded word. Like when the word heaven is brought up, religious connotations and a lot of scrutiny or skepticism or recoil. But I want to reframe it, because what if heaven is just a word and it's been linked to some confining boundaries? Let's reframe it. Let's reframe it together. My name is Jonathan Keebler, and I have been seeking the source of all creation for the last 11 years with a lot of challenges and a lot of successes. And I want to bring those challenges and those successes to you. And I also want to hear your challenges and successes, because I have a limited perspective on the infinite. And I would love to hear what your perspective on that is, so I can learn some more. And then we can share those experiences, those stories, and help each other broaden our imagination. So back to this heaven. What is heaven? So I have this picture right here, and this dude meditating, and you can see that it has three bodies: the head, the body, and then the legs, the lower half of the body. And I kind of reversed the colors, but it goes blue, gold, red at the bottom. And heaven, although it is tied to Christianity, heaven is this idea of imagination, since we're reframing it. And what somebody used to say, who was it? I don't remember who it was, but what they said was, is that when you die, then, oh, Darius Wright. When you die, what you've lived on earth, the imagination that you've curated here on earth, you create when you die. And but since your soul is eternal, then you'll always revert back to the bliss, the love, the source of all creation. You'll go back to that. And so when we die, we experience hell if we've been living in hell on earth, and our imagination will create that hell when we die. And so yeah, we'll burn in hell maybe for a little bit, but we'll always go back to the source of all creation. And with respect to this topic, heaven is this idea, when you've lived a godly life here on earth, that you'll create heaven of abundance and pearly white gates or whatever when you die. But if our imagination can produce that when we die, why can't our imagination also produce that here? And this is what the top of this guy, this meditating guy, is. The top of it is the mind. So the mind is capable of creation. It's capable of imagining endlessly. And the more that I spend time expanding that mind, the more I'm able to imagine. That my capacity for imagination grows. My capacity to connect with the divine grows. My capacity grows. And but what do I do with all of that when I imagine it, is the question. This is where heaven lives, in the mind. And my mind is connected to heaven here on earth. What do I do with that information? Do I have to wait until I die to live in heaven? Or do I have to wait till I die to live in hell? And the answer is no, because I am a physical being. This is my physical body. I'm a human. And that's what the second body is. So the heaven lives here and is connected to the body, my physical body. My physical body. And I'm sorry, the bottom is the physical body. It's earth. That's what it is. It's connected to earth. So the heaven is my imagination, the unseen, and my physical body is the earth. So then what connects the two? The soul. The soul connects the two. And so there's a saying like, keep your head in the clouds, but your feet on the ground. And that's because I, as a human being, and you as a human being, have a soul that can connect the heaven and the earth. And the Corpus Hermetica says that as above, so below. So as above, so below. Like I can bring that heaven into the body and project it into the world. And I choose to do that from the divine light, the source of all creation, the infinite love, the divine. And with that, um, I want to go down that rabbit hole for a moment. The Egyptians believed that you had three parts of your soul. Now, the Egyptians precede or come before the Hermetics, because the Hermetics, their foundation is from the Egyptian philosophy or spirituality, and they just took that. So Egyptians are Hermetic roots. Before we get into that, the Hebrew language was the most complete version of language that we know about, because each word meant a lot of different things, or each string of characters meant more than what the English language has. And in the same way, symbols represent that, but more complete. And so the Egyptians, their spirituality was symbolic and experiential. So they didn't ever try to describe it with the language. They put that in symbols. And with the symbols, you the more connection that you had with your soul, these three different layers that I'm about to describe, the more connection that you had, the more rituals you went through, the more you could see what the symbols actually meant. Real quick, let's just go into them. So they believed in the Ka, the life force, the Ba, the personality or the spirit, and the Ak, which is the transformed or the divine self, or the enlightened version. So that's what the Egyptians believed. And so when you go through these different layers, then those symbols reveal themselves even more. And in ancient Korea, 10,000 years ago, they also believed that there were 9 levels of spirituality that you can attain. And then when you hit 10, 1 and 0 is the sign of completion. You have your 0, which is the loop, and your 1 is the beginning, and you connect the into a circle. And so both of these traditions from ancient times, thousands of years ago, basically believed in the same thing, because the Tao, they believe that, like, as you ascend, you can see more. And let's bring this back to heaven. So because I'm a finite being and I can only imagine to the capacity that I can and experience heaven to my limited thinking, the more that I spend time in heaven through whatever, like meditations, walking meditations, conversations with other people, anything that I do, as long as my mind is in my body, can be spent in heaven. The more that I spend there, the more of heaven is revealed to me here on earth. Let me say that again. The more that I spend time in heaven, in meditation, or doing things where my mind is in my body, the more of heaven is revealed to me. This is the exact same thing that the Egyptians were saying, that there are different layers to the soul. And the more rituals, or the more time spent, the more is revealed to you. And it's because, and they were symbolic, and it's because, like, our language is linear, but heaven is all of the things all at once. It's everything, everywhere, all at one time. And the more time I spend without using words or reading, or the more I spend in quietude, the more complete it becomes. I have this physical body where I can bring that here. And my soul connects that, the heaven to earth, through my body. So you have heaven on top, earth on the bottom, and the soul in the middle. Like, these are our different energy centers, and they connect. So in essence, to wrap this up, we humans are powerful because we get to connect heaven and earth. That's what we do. And we're the only species that we know of that can do this. And that's what makes us divine. Our imagination is an antenna to the divine that gives us the ability to bring that heaven into the physical reality. And even our physical reality, our knowledge on it right now is very limited, because think about the light spectrum. We can only see a fraction of the light spectrum, and the light spectrum is huge. We can only see a little bit. Like, the same concept is applied to what we know about reality. We can only see this much in reality, but we can bring heaven here and start expanding that. So I encourage you to explore this. If you're new, if you've been practicing, like, just try to approach it with this concept that I can bring heaven to earth through me. Try to experience that and expand your capacity for heaven right now. So just reframe the heaven. Forget what you think you know about it and try to experience it in a different light. And, like, if you have a different opinion than me, or if you, like, if I got some facts wrong, please just leave it in the comments. I don't ever want to be the person who is very rigid and, no, this is the way that it is, because it's like, I have no idea. This is just my limited perspective on something infinite. So please share your thoughts, share your experience with me, with others in the comments, and subscribe, because once we hit 500 subscribers, then I'm going to go live. I'm going to share this with you. I want to hear you in real time so we can have a dialogue going. And I love y'all. So I will see you again. Peace.